it is my deep belief that this is a high time for the whole world, especially the academic society, to turn their eyes again to the importance of ethics and education. And I myself is not a educator, I would say. My specialty is not education. I'm a philosopher. But this time I would like to take this opportunity to talk of some issues and some sort of practice happening in China. I'll give a very brief report on some new, I would say, trend or something you can say that is happening in part of Chinese society. For the sake that I'm doing it for the sake that it is difficult not only for foreigners but also for us who are living in China to understand the Chinese society, to see clearly the truth. So I think this is very important to pay attention to notice what is happening in Chinese society. So I would talk of something that I would see some change or something that is becoming to some reality in the practice of education based on family. Confucianism is very famous in highlighting good family relationship and good education based on family practice, as is well known, which means first the parent carry their responsibility well and create a close, affectionate relationship in the family and help the children to have a good education based on their own good example in the parents' example. It is important to observe that today in part of the Chinese society, people have formed some new idea and sort of practice related to the concern of personal character cultivation, not only with one's own, but also with a strong concern of having the children better cultivated in their characters, not that ideological, but more humane. Among part of Chinese society in the past 20 years, have witnessed a strong shift to a traditional way of reading Confucian classics in some civil schools organized by some scholars of Confucianism. A typical model of this reading practice is like this. Participants of the reading group normally meet and participate in the readings regularly beyond their college courses or professional activities. Another model which is now coming to a practice is some sort of short-term intensive reading program. Participants will be concentrating with the reading and discussing in some school or countryside house in the period, typically a couple of weeks. Both these programs are non-profit. There are no fees, tuitions. In the second model, participants will be living a simple life, paying for themselves living, and teachers are in fact volunteers. They also participate into the program and play a role in the program. I myself has participated in some of these programs in some countryside villages, and I think that they're always very good atmosphere and very good discussions. The influence of the scholarship of contemporary Confucianism is only part of the reason, I think. Or if you would like to say one of the reasons. Very few people read the articles published on academic journals. A deep reason, in the way that I would like to take it, is that some people are pursuing a way of living that will not make their personal lives as corrupted as are the other parts of their lives, or the lives they observed of other people in the economic and political domain. Some people have realized that they have long lacked an education of character cultivation, which is the core doctrine of Confucianism, and that Confucianism is still important for them to get understanding and insights of human life. People with fine taste are now witness to share the motive of forming small circles to calm themselves, to quiet their sins. I will use sins instead of minds because I think sin in Chinese is quite different from the concept of mind. When they get rid of their daily professional activities, and when they sit together to read some Confucian text, like Analects, they feel that they are touching some deep insights and profound spirit of forefathers expressed in the text, which they find very much concerned with the crucial issue of what sort of person they would like to cultivate inside themselves. This practice has brought with it a by effect. Some young couples who have participated in this practice have now found a new motive growing in their sins, a motive to have their children's characters better cultivated than that they will if the children only get this sort of education and the school system. This does not necessarily mean that they will have their children educated outside the present school education system. Very few young parents think of doing this. What this does mean is that many young parents who have participated in the above practice have realized the need to have their children to be cultivated with the spirit of traditional Chinese humanities, especially the spirit of Confucianism, embedded in their characters. In fact, these young parents are hoping to remedy the serious defect the education system now have in this line. A first choice is to send the children to some newly founded tradition-style 书院. It means some sort of school of Asian style, some sort of school for children supported for civil resources. In the past 20 years, many 书院 has been founded in various ways in society. Children can start to study this sort of school from very early age, like from 4 or 5 years old to high school age. They live and study weekdays in Shuyuan and study step by step many Chinese classic texts, especially Analects, Mencius, Great Learning, and Zhongyong, and etc. At the same time, they learn how to live a simple but disciplined life and how to communicate with others in good manner. The students will also study other courses of science and art. Most traditional Shuyuan are not commercial. There will be a tuition, but not too high, the most part of which is used to cover their living expense. But to send a child to the sort of Shuyuan is always a big decision for the young couples. The merit is that the children, the children will have plenty of time to get in touch with the traditional humane aspect, and in many cases the children are found to become calmer, friendlier, and politer when get along with their companions and other people. However, most Shuyuan has too few teachers. Many courses of science and art are not up to standard. Hence, the children will be in a less advanced position when they try to enter university or college. A secondary choice seems to be this: the young couples can send the children to some class reading courses out of the school system. There are some possibilities, but one problem is that most of these courses are very commercial. The other problem is that these courses are mainly commercial, and along with other non-school commercial courses, the Class 6 reading course is just like one of the market goods you buy for children from some commercial course market. Many young couples also send their children to some other commercial courses for the sake of potential education competition the children will be facing. Hence, you can hardly avoid the fact that the children will see the classic reading as just one more course. Meanwhile, some young parents, especially those who do hope to have their children well cultivated in characters, feel that they not only have to go classics reading themselves, but also sometimes have to talk with the children on what the children have just read to counteract the negative effect of the commercial classics reading course for children. And children will read and recite what they are taught in the course, but they sometimes need to get some primary understanding. Hence, the second choice seems to have included very complicated factors in the practice and tend to go toward a family-based Confucian text reading activity. Just 1 minute. So far we have watched two main models. Some young couples have created a family cooperation model of practice. They organize their effort into an integrated one. Parents of each family will either take the responsibility in return at some weekend for conducting the children to read the text and providing the teaching and providing the teaching the children need, or trust one of them whom they believe to be able in doing this to do the work. But since they are young and are normally very busy, many young couples involved in this practice have already found that it is difficult to insist in this practice. Only very few core family classics reading practice endures long term. The other model is the parent-children core reading. Some merit is that it is relatively flexible. Some young couples with fine taste and reflections make effort in this way. But this means that they will pay a lot of energy and time. For except for their daily professional activities, they have to participate with the others' reading program themselves just because they feel they need to. Honestly, showing children the good way is of greatest importance. Talking with children about what they have just learned to read is also proved to be a crucial stage of this practice. Normally, as we have found in cases, the husband and the wife will share this responsibility. But since this means a very high standard practice, very few working young couples are seen doing well in this line. But galleries that the conclusion because everybody can read it from the booklet. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.